Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Tommy. Just listening to this debate about Nia Long and Emmy Udoka and that situation. I think it's pretty bad, situation wise, that they have drugged both of them out and really just thrown them out in the trash. And I think the privacy of it has gone out the door. It's all over the news. It should have been handled personally, internally, so each party could have dealt with it. I think the Celtics mishandled the whole situation, and I just wanted to go over a few topics on it and how I felt about it. I was listening to my boy on here, Mr. Let Go, and he's got a whole great bunch of topics on here. Shout out to him and his great show. Hit his page up, Mr. Let Go, and subscribe. Hit that, the like button and all that, and listen to all the comments he's been making about this, because I think he has some really good insights of it, and the points that he's bringing up are valid. But he's talking about one subject is, you know, how this came upon all of a sudden, and it just blew up, and then here's basketball season ready to start, and people didn't know what was going on, but did they? Just strange how all of a sudden they just had a news conference, and now it's, well, we got to shut this down, shut that down. But if you have a company that two people are involved in a consensual relationship, how do you separate the one from the other? Do you look at high profile and the other's low profile? Was this person who the media can't even get a hold of the name because they withheld information that way? Is that how we are really describing how we do things in the workforce? Is this a great example? What about other people in other organizations? What have they been doing all this time? How did they handle it? Well, we know this was not handled correctly because we know it's been blown up on the radio, social media, the news outlets, ESPN, etc. So I was, just having a few takes on it. It's just my own personal opinion. It sucks either way. Yeah, a man of his stature, I'm talking about Udoka, being a leadership role, he shouldn't be no fraternizing with, anybody as far as in the job, no matter if it's sports or regular IBM anywhere. But the fact that he showed poor leadership, he should be punished for what he's doing. But I also think the other person, who's nameless, should have been at least reprimanded, also suspended, or given some kind of, slap or something on the hand, wrist, something, anything, equally, because they both committed a certain thing. And because you didn't handle it in a professional way, I'm talking about the Boston Celtics, now your women who have been dragged in because there's been no name attached to it, now everybody else has their own opinion, and they don't know which female you're talking about. Now their names have been dragged in the mud, and now you feeling bad for the females who are in there suffering for that decision that you made and you leaked to the press, allegedly. So we would like to have some more information, but as it is now, we don't know enough. But here's the odd thing about everything. You have the male perspective and then you have the female perspective. Some people are saying, well, okay, you expect a man to do this, a man to do that. And then you have the women saying, well, she shouldn't have done that either, but, and I don't want to make it about a male-female thing. I'm just repeating what people are saying on social media. But, you have some women who are honest about it and say she should be punished. But you have a lot of women who are sticking up for her because she was unnamed as usual. And people are kind of upset that it's always one way or another. The male always has to take the big bite of it because he's supposed to know better. That didn't work out too well with Adam back in Eve either. So, how things been going since then. So, to get back to the point, the main point that I'm trying to make about all this is we have a man who's been there for 1 year He's done great things. He's never, from what we understand, been in the limelight in this nature of being bad. It's always been good, positive things. Now he's in a position where, he's engaged, or he at one time, and he's in a relationship. Now we're hearing that the woman that he was involved with in the organization, who had a mutual interest, was helping with travel arrangements for Nia Long to come in and out of the games in Boston, along with her, now from what we understand, looking to move to Boston with their son to relocate and be a family. This is the same person, allegedly, that's been involved in traveling and making these things happen. So, when we talk about women doing things, also, this woman's doing something to another woman. It takes two to tango. So, I just hear that Nia Long has been getting, oh, sorry for you, oh, this feels bad, and, we this and this, we emphasize. And I do too, because I think nobody should get played like that. I don't care who it is. I'm not going to sit there and root for guys just because I'm a guy. And I'm not going to sit there and say women should do certain things just because they're women. Right is right and wrong is wrong. In this case, I would like to say that, in Nia's case, that was the high level of wrong. Now, when I've been listening to the social media comments about all this, now we're starting to hear, as usual, and I don't know why this always happens, but we're starting to hear how Nia Long has just been run through by a whole bunch of people. And when we say run through, you know what I mean. And I don't like to use that term, but she was with people, and the list got longer and longer. But why isn't she married? That's the main concern that a lot of our females are saying. Hey, you girl, next time you should be married. You should have this, you should have that. You should have done this, you should have done that. My whole thing is, something's wrong. And I'm not saying there's something wrong with her, but just something's wrong in general. I'm not going to list the names that she has been attached to as far as romantically over the years. But, after a while, when you don't get married, unfortunately, in this society, people are starting to look at you. And unfortunately, they start looking at women. Because generally, there's no pressure on men to be married or be in a relationship. It seems to be more a society thing that women have to have a man or have to be some kind of title or, amongst other people. And I just think it's sad. And the bottom line is you have 2 people, 3 people, maybe more, who are involved in this situation that's shameless and really, unexpected, but it's bad when you get loaded out there in the world and you're hurt by the families. Think about his son. He caused this, and they caused this, but however, you still have to feel bad for his family, who were involved, and now in the whole organization, all the ladies' names who have been thrown out there. One lady who works for Boston, she's actually from the area I'm in, and she's Harvardist, very smart, very educated, very beautiful, and basketball savvy, which is why she got the job. And she's been tied in that because you guys wouldn't name the person. So it's like mistakes on all parts, all the way around, from the leadership all the way down to the subordinates. And if you don't have strong leadership at the top, then this is what can happen. And, I'm a Laker fan. Okay, ain't make no big bones about it. I don't pull for the Celtics. I never have. But to me, this is beyond sports. This is happening in America day in and day out. And we all know it. There are managers messing around with employees and vice versa. And, taking advantage of the situation. Oh, I'll give you this if you do this. And it's sad because in America we're living in. But that's the world we're living in. This is not going to stop. It's been going on for too long. And, the remedies for all that's going on today in today's society is out of control. And I don't know how you can reel something like this in when everybody has to just feel like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that, oh, I got to have that, I got to have this, oh, blah, blah, blah. So I feel bad for Nia for having to experience this, to be drugged along in this fashion. A woman with her class and prestige and her stature. And I, pray for her son. I'm wondering what he's going through today. And prayers for, the woman who also was involved in the office or more. Just the whole scenario. We just have to look back and try to watch what we do and use better decisions, especially in a leadership position. But let's be honest. When you work with somebody every day, you think about it. You're working with people more than you're working with your spouse or your significant other or your partner, family members, etc. That's kind of, after a while, you're going to start developing feelings. Relationships are going to change, especially if things aren't going well at home. It could get to a point where somebody's just maybe saying something nice to you, making you feel better, compliments, etc. Then that can shift easily that way. So the moral of everything is to have morals. But because he was not married, and neither was Nia, they were not married, then some people tend to think, okay, well, since I haven't taken any vows, I'm still a free agent. I'm not out yet. Not to the point where I can give up everything. Right now, we're on a pending status. Because that's what it is when you're boyfriend, girlfriend, you're pending. And as long as you're pending and don't have anything binding, then people feel a little differently. Now, that doesn't say that people who are still binding don't want to cheat and do stuff like that. It's just we're talking stature-wise. Generally, the rule of thumb is you shouldn't be doing that. But we know, people are going to do what they want to do. And that's the problem, because we don't have enough faith in God enough to do the right things and put our energy in Him instead of in us. But we think because we have free will, we can do anything we want to in any time without consequences. Then that's what happens when you don't look to Him first and look to Him second. And then you come to Him, talking about God, asking for forgiveness, and then you expect a pat on the back and get you back up. Now, that's why God is God. Because thank God for second chances, third, 15, 16, 17. But the object of the whole thing is to not do it in the first place. But if you do it, rectify yourself. Make a change. Ask for forgiveness and be truly, truly honest about it. If this is your pattern, if this is your MO, just be what it is. Tell people straight up. In this day and age, you can be honest like that. You don't have to tell everybody everything anymore. That's how it is now. When I was growing up in the 80s, it was different. Were men still cheating? Were women cheating? Sure. But it just felt different. It was in a different level. Right now, everything's wide open. And our respect values for both sexes have gone out the door. And if we can get back to that, I think we'll be in good shape. So I just wanted to chime in. I never uploaded anything to YouTube. Just trying it out, trying to see if anybody has any opinions about what I said and discussed. A lot of people have their viewpoints. It'd be good to hear from you and understand how you feel about it and what you think they should do going forward. Should they suspend her? Or do they throw her name out there for equality and fairness? Or do you just wash it all together and start all over? Because we know now the people in the Boston Celtics office and organization, they've been put on blast. So their things are going to tighten up. Is this going to be a reflection and a domino effect to other sports franchises, NBA teams, etc.? Workforce. Might take a while. We're probably never going to get there in honesty. But, when we have scares, like we had the pandemic, we had the AIDS, we have the, viruses and stuff, all of a sudden we stop, but then we get right back to the same thing because we're over the scare. What we need to just do is look at what the Celtics have done and look at ourselves and ask ourselves, what are we doing? Because we can't change others, but you can change you. So I'm asking if you have any opinions of this. I really would appreciate your comments. Like I said, first time doing this, I decided that I wanted to do something different. My name is Tommy Thomas, and I appreciate you viewing this, and I appreciate your likes. You take care.